Hi everyone, Marla Miller from marlamiller.com. I just want you to know that I went through an entire query critique, the entire thing, and then realized I hadn't turned it on. Um, you know, writing is rewriting, videoing is re-videoing, I guess. That's the moral of that little lesson. This is a query letter. It's a memoir. I want to get right to it, so it's kind of long. I'm writing today to follow up on a conversation at such and such conference because I admire the work of so and so. I hope you will consider representing my recently completed 55,000 word travel memoir, Riding Free. Can a photograph change your life? Mine did when I discovered a set of naked photos of my grandmother. All my life I'd been compared to Grandma Pat, but shortly after her death, when my mother and I discovered the photographs among her effects, I realized I was nothing like her. I'd just gotten out of a stifling marriage and was finally free, but didn't know what to do with my freedom. So with Grandma Pat as my guide, I set out on a voyage of discovery to Ireland, the land of our ancestors, to ignite the passion that was lacking in my life. I danced with horsemen and women, communed with priestesses, and had mind-blowing Harry Potter sex in an ancient Irish castle. But when I returned to California for my parents' 50th anniversary, I learned that my ex-husband had already remarried, which undid all the progress I'd made in Ireland. So I set off on another kind of adventure to an alternate lifestyle resort in Jamaica. After a religious experience, yes, I'm probably the only one who has had a religious experience at a swingers resort, while volunteering at an orphanage, I discovered that as much as I wanted to be like my Grandma Pat, I was much more like my mother. Um, Riding Free tells the story of my travels and how, by trying to be more like my grandmother and not like my mother, I learned to be just me. Currently a resident of blank, I hold a BS in physical therapy from blank. After working as a physical therapist for many years, I now volunteer at blank Naval Hospital and do extensive work with Wounded Warriors Project. In addition, I created a special program for women of war, those injured or married to a wounded warrior. I keep my passion for writing going by taking writing classes and workshops at blank and by blogging at blank. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Couple of things on this query letter, so I want to get going on it because I really am watching my time. Okay. She opens this up by, I assume that she has a specific agent in mind because she wants to kind of flatter that agent. We met. Here I am again. I'm pitching to you because of your representation of this author. That's all good. So if she wants to do that, I would encourage her to do that if she has a specific agent in mind. So that's a good opening for a particular agent. Like the second paragraph very, very much. Can a photograph change your mind? Like it. Great hook. I want to know more immediately. Third paragraph, she defines, what precipitated this traveling adventure of hers, and that was a stifling marriage that she was finally free from. And she goes to Ireland and she does all kinds of wonderful things, and that include having mind-blowing Harry Potter sex. Now, I'm going to show my ignorance here. I have not read much of Harry Potter. I certainly haven't read any Harry Potter mind-blowing sex. So if that's appropriate, then cool, that's appropriate. But if it isn't appropriate, then, take a look at that. I'm assuming it is. It kind of surprised me, though. Mind-blowing Harry Potter sex? Okay. So here's the part that I get a little confused about. She sets us up to say that, she's reinventing herself after getting out of this marriage that was stifling. And then she says when she returned to California from Ireland, she finds out the ex got married, and that just undoes all the good work that she's done. And I want to know why. If this marriage was stifling, I'm assuming she got out of it for that reason. So what would it matter if her stifling ex-husband married again? I don't get that. So that news, though, then sends her off to Jamaica, where she has more mind-blowing sex, I'm assuming, at a swingers club. Except she also then volunteers at an orphanage, and that's all in one sentence. So in the 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph, take a look at that. Because Yeah, it's pretty much all those two very opposing images, swingers club, orphanage, are all in one space. So take a look at that. I think you need to not only break that up but set it up better. Uh, okay, in the last paragraph, she gives her credits, except none of those credits have to do with this memoir. They all have to do with her being a PT and volunteering with wounded warriors, which is terrific. But it has nothing to do with this. In fact, it sounds like it might be a pitch for another book, or it could be a setup for, her next story. So that's 6 lines, and I would get rid of that, and use that space to either cut this query letter off there, or craft her credits to keep a tighter connection to the story that she's pitching, which is a memoir. Okay, so generally speaking, I think that it sounds interesting. Writing free could be. It sounds like it's saucy. It sounds like she's learned a lot about herself. It sounds kind of like Eat, Pray, Love, which is could be a problem. So there's lots of memoirs that are out there that have followed Eat, Pray, Love. And while this author does not mention that, and I'm glad that she didn't mention that, I would have told her to get rid of that. I'm wondering what is filling up. How many words is this memoir? A lot, enough. So what is filling up this memoir of 55,000 words? A trip to Ireland, and with the kind of echo of Grandma Pat always there around her, or the essence of her grandma. And I'm going to assume when she was in Jamaica in the Swingers Club, also Grandma Pat was around there too, because she was a lady who didn't mind having her photo taken nude. So I'm not quite sure how these two travel logs round out an entire memoir. And so I think that this writer, from my opinion, has some rethinking to do on what it is that writing free is really about. And I'm not going to say any more than that. And I know that this probably isn't the best news that this writer could hear, but I like the writing. I mean, I think that the writing is fine, and I actually think that writing free, I can see story elements in there. It's just that I don't know what else there is. It's almost like she's told the whole story. So why would I read the book? And I know that this isn't the best news that this writer wants to hear, but writing is rewriting. And until the next time, be well and keep writing.